Glad to have Samuel Rodriguez join us on the program. He is a reverend, so he has preached real sermons, unlike me. And he joins us now. Sammy, good morning to you.
Gentlemen, great to be with you again.
Yeah, you were on with us a month or so ago, wasn't you?
I was.
Yeah, and you came back for more?
I did, What can I say?
Well, Ray Pritchard's on with me. He's co-hosting.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
How are you, buddy?
So anyway, we're glad to have you back, Sam. You got a book. I have an advanced reader's copy, Uncorrected Proof. Have you corrected the proof yet, and is the book available?
The good news is the proof has been corrected.
Okay.
The book is available everywhere. The Lamb's Agenda.
All right, it's called The Lamb's Agenda. Tell us about it.
The Lamb's Agenda is a biblical prescription to address even the very issues you alluded to. Wow, what amazing times. Could you ever have imagined that within our generation, we would see our Christian worldview threatened, pushed to the margins? And I do believe, by the way, that there's an intentional attempt to silence the voice of Christianity in America. But you know what? The book says this: the number one problem in America is not moral relativism or cultural decadence or spiritual apathy. The number one problem in America is a lukewarm church. We have a church that has really pushed itself out of the public sphere. We drank the proverbial Kool-Aid, and we are no longer engaged. This nation was founded on a powerful, transformative, catalytic Judeo-Christian value system. We were founded on the principles of Plymouth Rock and Jamestown, and now we are surrendering truth on the altar of political expediency. The Lamb's Agenda says that the answer for America is not found in the agenda of the donkey or the elephant. It's in the agenda of the Lamb, which means we need a righteousness and justice, Christ-centered, Bible-based movement in America that will speak truth to power. It's not even committed to cultural engagement. It's committed to cultural reformation. So it's really a clarion call for the church to rise up and reconcile the vertical and the horizontal planes with the Christian message.
Hey, Sam, that's a pretty provocative thing you just said, and very interesting. You said the call here is not simply to cultural engagement, but to cultural reformation, which to me sounds like an even higher standard. What do you mean by that?
No, we're not called to engage the culture. We're not called to sing Kumbaya. We're called to reform the culture. We really are. We should be the most catalytic, influential institution, providing space, of course, within the confines of our wonderful American experience. So we provide space for religious pluralism. And by the way, it's because of our Christian faith in America, our Judeo-Christian value system, that other faith narratives can succeed and thrive in America. We provide space. We don't have an inferiority complex. We provide space, but it stems out of that spirit of tolerance and grace and love and compassion. But it's not about singing Kumbaya with the culture. It's about reforming the culture. Many years ago, I remember hearing sermons. I'm a Generation Xer, and I remember hearing sermons in my church growing up saying that nothing good can come out of Hollywood. Nothing good can come out of popular culture, and that Christians should completely segregate and isolate ourselves and have nothing to do with them. Well, what we really need are more Christ followers in Hollywood. What we really need are more Christ followers in major media and in popular culture. What we really need are Christ followers involved in the political sphere. So instead of abandoning and isolating ourselves, we should be more engaged, and actually beyond engaged, we should be committed to transmitting our Christian worldview and influencing with our Christian worldview. The word influence stemming out of our Christian faith narrative is so powerful. To me, it's almost synonymous. If you're a Christian and you are not exerting influence, be it at your job, in your college, in your school, wherever you may be, we have a problem. Because Christianity, there's no such thing as comfortable Christianity. And there's no such animal as silent Christianity. Christianity prompts us to preach the word in and out of season, to live out the gospel, to do Matthew 25. It's so powerful, and that's the call for the Lamb's Agenda. Can we reconcile Billy Graham's message of salvation through Christ with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s march of prophetic activism? Can we reconcile the message and the march? In the 20th century, the majority of Bible-believing Christians in America, particularly in the latter part after 1950, stood separated. And the way that I see it in a very simplistic manner, we had the followers of Billy Graham, and then we had the followers of Dr. King. White evangelicals, the message of Dr. Graham, and then African Americans and ethnic evangelicals or born-again Christians were committed to Dr. King's message of justice and equality and so forth, the horizontal. Well, it's the 21st century. What we need is to reconcile the vertical with the horizontal. We need righteousness and justice, conviction and compassion. We need covenant and community, sanctification and service. We need to push forward the Lamb's agenda. We need to reclaim justice in the name of Jesus and take it out of the political lexicon and redeem it out of the biblical narrative, and really see a movement in America that's catalytic and transformative.
Sammy, I'm ready to charge with you, brother. I mean, that was a great admonition, and I couldn't agree with you more in terms of our need to exert our influence and to rise to leadership and to promote the Lamb's agenda, the Lamb being Jesus Christ.
Correct.
However, there's a but coming here.
Yes.
However, how do you recognize that we do have an enemy? I mean, this is not so easy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for instance, you mentioned Hollywood.
Yeah.
You go to Hollywood and you're a Christian, you're not going to make it up the ladder because you have to compromise a lot of times on your values. And so, and plus I'm just giving you one example. Plus they are secular liberals and humanists that control Hollywood. So it's hard to go up and exert influence for godly reasons. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, but let me give you a quick point of reference, recent history. How about the last couple of weeks? The Bible series. You have Mark and Roma Downey and Mark Burnett. They're personal friends. And wow, just wow.
Yeah.
1 out of every 4 Americans viewed the Bible series.
That's stunning.
It is amazing. Over 100 million Americans saw the Bible series. More people are talking about Jesus and the Bible now than they have for so many years. And I have the privilege, I say this by God's grace alone, I have the privilege of having good friends that work in Hollywood, in the television and movie industry. There is this quiet little movement taking place. A number of people having personal encounters with Jesus, accepting Jesus Christ as Lord, born-again Hollywood actors and actresses. And, yeah, you're right, by the way. They're quiet about it. They can't be really out there saying, hey, here I am. I'm a Jesus freak, because it may very well result in, let's just say, lack of engagement as it pertains to opportunities. But it's fermenting, and it's growing. So I do believe that we're beginning to see movements in popular culture of people that are Christ followers committed to saying, you know what, this is the time. It's really the time to advance an agenda that is so powerful that can very well be the hope of America. I sat around a number of Christian scholars. These are Christian scholars who a few months ago wrote the obituary of American Christianity. One of them stated that by the end of the 21st century, American Christianity, quote, will not survive in any viable or sustainable manner. That American Christianity will look like Europe's Christianity today, in the margins, less than 5%, 10% max. Wow. I beg to differ. I think we stand at the precipice of a third awakening, of a fresh move of God upon our nation. I believe God is not done with America, and America is not done with God. But it's going to take the Christian church to stand up. It's going to take the church really to articulate a powerful message of salvation through Christ with biblical justice, not big government justice, but biblical justice in the name of Jesus, where we raise our hands up in worship and stretch our hands across out in compassion.
Sammy, in your book, you say that we need John the Baptist leadership. What's that all about? We
measure leadership in American Christianity via the metrics of our Western European optics, of course. We have to refocus that, which is usually, how many people do we have in our church? The elevator speech. You know, have you sat down with a pastor? Is usually, how big is your church? How many people do you have on Sunday? And we measure things by numerical quantitative metrics, when we should really measure success the way John the Baptist did it, the way Jesus did it. John the Baptist said, you really want to see my success? In essence, greater is he who follows me. He's going to be so great, by the way, whose sandals are worthy of time. John the Baptist pointed to Jesus. And Jesus said, you, John 14, you will do greater things in my name. In other words, make those that follow you greater than yourself. If you really want to see effective Christian ministry, make those that follow us greater than ourselves. I pastor a church, and I tell my church the effectiveness and the success of this church cannot be measured while I'm your pastor. It can only be measured what happens after your pastor leaves. If I leave and this church diminishes and goes down to nothing, then this was personality-driven, and it was more about me and less about Jesus. Let's make sure that those that follow us do greater things than we do. I want to make sure my children achieve greater things than I have ever achieved for the glory of Christ. Therefore, the true measure of success is by those that follow us, rather than the temporary success metrics that we currently exhibit in our present age.
We're talking with the Reverend Samuel Rodriguez. He's the author of the brand new book, The Lamb's Agenda, Why Jesus is Calling You to a Life of Righteousness and Justice. Ought to also mention, Sammy, you're the current president of the National Hispanic Christian Leadership Conference, which is America's largest Hispanic Christian organization. Tell us where people can get a copy of The Lamb's Agenda, and if you have a website where people can get to know you personally, tell us about that too.
You can visit our site, thelambsagenda.com, lambsagenda.com, pastorsam.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Reverend Samuel Rodriguez, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And yes, the book is available everywhere, from Amazon to Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Family Christian bookstores, Mardel bookstores, in a bookstore near you, The Lamb's Agenda. And one more thing, Time Magazine this very week featured us on the cover, called the Latino Reformation. It's a phrase that I humbly describe pertaining to the growth of the Hispanic evangelical community. And pick up a copy. It's the cover page of Time Magazine, and it speaks about this growth of the Hispanic Christian movement in America.